Hello, my name's Tuppence. I'm making a set of coasters this week and it's going to be ocean themed. I'm still on that kick. I'm going to be using some resin and some vinyl to create sea creature coasters. I want to make the background look a little bit like waves, and then I'll stick some vinyl on top of my sea creatures. So I'm going to be using some resin. I've got JDiction resin here and I've mixed up 6 ounces. Now I want this to get to bloom temperature. So I'm just going to take the temperature now, and it's about 25.9. So that's got some way to go. In the meantime, let me show you the colours I'm going to use. I've got this green mica, and that is from the company Mould. And I'm also going to add some of this blue resin dye that is from JDiction, just to make sure that this is more blue than it is green. I've got another blue mica also from Mould, and this is an interference colour. It's called Stargazer. That's from Luminar, and this is a combination of blue-green. I've also got some glitters. So this is a chunky holographic in opal, and I have a chunky holographic in this kind of blue-purple. So that'll give me the 3 different colours of blue, and then I have the 2 glitters. And I want to pour these into the mould in stripes so that they remain in stripes and not blend too much, and they'll look like waves. So that's why I'm waiting for my resin to heat up. As soon as this comes to temperature, I can mix everything up. So it's about 26 at the moment. I'll be back when I'm ready to mix. Okay, I've been checking for a little while and we're now at 31.2. So I think I can start mixing up my colours. And then by the time I've done that, this will continue to keep heating. Should be roughly at the right temperature. Now I've only got 6 ounces, so I do need to divide this pretty wisely. I'm going to want more for the colours than I am for the glitter. And as I'm going to be putting so many colours in each coaster, I don't really need an awful lot. So I'm not measuring this, I'm just doing this by eye. So I'm just going to divide this up between these 3 cups. So I'll put a decent amount in there. There's probably about, I don't know, just over an ounce maybe. And the rest of that I'm going to use for the glitter, so that needs to be divided in 2. Now to this one I'm just going to add 1 drop of this blue pigment. It is very, very strong and it stains everything. And then I can add this green mica, so let me just grab a stick. I might as well get this one because it's already stained from that blue. So I'm just going to pop some of the green and then mix that. Okay, that's not looking too bad. It is still very green, but it's just got that hint of blue. It would have been way too green if I hadn't put that blue in there. All right, let me pop this over to one side. Try not to knock it over. And then I can clean off my stick. And I'll mix up my next colour. Whoops. And that is this blue. This is also from Mould. And these came as part of a coaster kit. So I will link any of my supplies in the description box below. You can check that out. That's a lovely colour. And I think they do go nicely. I can see them in the pots next to each other. They look pretty good. So the last one is one of my favourite colours. And this is an interference. It makes a blue with a really pale turquoise shimmer. So, so pretty. So I'm just going to put a couple of scoops in and get that mixed up. And this is going to sort of be a mix between the 2 other colours, if you like. You can already see that turquoise shimmer on the top. I love it. All right, let me just clean off my stick once again, and then I need to mix up my glitters. And I'm going to want just 1 band of each of the glitters per coaster. So I don't need a lot of resin for that. I also want to use these as kind of a barrier to help separate the colours. So I'm going to want to put quite a lot of glitter in there. I've already waited for that resin to get a little bit thicker. So I'm not adding any kind of glue to help make these float. And I'm going to put so much glitter in here that it should kind of form a paste so that they work as a barrier. So let me just get this stirred in. And I can already see that I've got too much liquid in there. So I'm just going to add more glitter and mix that in. Okay, that's not too bad. It's almost like a paste. Let me check this one. Yeah, I definitely need to add a little bit more to that one as well. Try that. That is a lot better. All right, let me move everything back to the middle and I can take the temperature again. It may be a little lower because I have just divided this out. No, it's not too bad. All right, so it's anywhere between 30 and 32. So I do need these to be a little bit warmer. I'm just going to leave them off to the side while I clean all of this up, and then I can arrange all of my coasters so that you can see them all at the same time. Hopefully I've arranged those so that you can see everything I'm doing. I've taken the temperature, it's about 34 to 35, so that is the perfect temperature. And I'm just going to pour these in stripes across my coasters. Of course, they're not going to look the same, but I will add the colours in exactly the same order. So I'm just going to add this colour to each of the coasters first. I'm putting it at the top. Some may have a little bit more than others, but it is all going to be in the same order. So I'm just basically going to do the same with all of these colours. So I'm going to speed this up a little bit. So I'll leave you with a little bit of music. Okay, so I've added all my stripes, and you can see that I went back in with that green and I added a stripe across the top here because that just broke up that blue, which was a lot thicker than the other stripes. So I wanted it all to balance out. This just needs to set. I'm going to leave it to set naturally. I'm not going to put it in my curing machine because I don't want to move it, and I don't want to speed up the curing or heat it up, as those stripes are going to blend a little bit more. So hopefully they'll stay like this. I will be back when I am ready to add the next layer. Okay, they look pretty good. They are separated still, but you can see a lot of the glitter has floated up to the surface, and that's made that an irregular surface. It's a bit lumpy, which means that any vinyl I put on there is not going to stick properly. So I need to give this another coat of resin. This is the JDiction High Gloss again. And I just need to put a thin coat on so that I get a nice smooth layer that I can stick my vinyl on top of. I've mixed up, I think, about 60 mils So it should be enough to coat these with just a thin coat. So I'm just going to pour this on top and then spread it around by tilting these, try and cover the surface, and then I'll leave these to set as well. However, I am going to put my curing machine on this time. Now these don't fit into my curing machine, not all at once. So what I'm going to do is I've got a grid which I will put over the top of them, and then I'll pop the top of my curing machine on top of that. It will just direct the heat down onto it. And even though it's probably not quite as efficient as it would be if I had the machine properly put together, it will still work, and it does help to speed up the curing process. It's really important that this layer is properly cured before I use the sticky tape to transfer my image onto it. So I will be back once these are ready for me to add my vinyl layer. I've already cut and weeded my images, and I've got my transfer tape on top, and if it looks a little funny, that's because it is a masking tape transfer tape. This is not quite as strong as other tapes, and it means that it shouldn't damage my resin. So I am scraping down and rubbing the image on the front and the back, and then I'm leaving it face side down and peeling or rolling back the release paper to reveal this. And as you can see, it is a holographic sparkle. So this is going to go roughly in the middle, got a jellyfish, and then I can transfer that down. Make sure that that is rubbed in, and then I just need to peel back my masking tape. And it is strong enough to transfer the image, but it doesn't, well, it shouldn't pull up on either the resin or the vinyl. So I'll just peel that back. Wow, that is so pretty. I love it. I really love this vinyl. It's a Cricut brand. It's called Holographic Sparkle, and it's in their silver. So there is my jellyfish. And the next one, now which way do I want that to go? This is a dolphin. And I think, actually, if I turn that way up, then that glitter layer is going to look like the surface or the foam of the sea. So again, I just need to make sure that this is burnished down on the front and the back. And that helps to make sure that that does transfer off of the tape. So one more rub. And if you fold the tape all the way back, it comes off really easily. I don't think I mentioned, but I got these images from Creative Fabrica, and again, if you're interested in any of that, I will leave links to the files down below in the description box. So just peel that one back, and it looks like it is leaping up through the foam. Yeah, okay, make sure that is all stuck down. Love it. All right, the next one is a seahorse, and I think I'm going to keep the stripes vertical on this one, so I think that will just match a little better. So again, make sure that is pressed down. I'm just using a scraper, which I think came with some vinyl actually. So as I peel this back, you can see that the backer of the vinyl is also sparkly, which means that if you did want to use this on a clear resin project, it would look the same from the front and the back. So it's really nice vinyl. I do recommend this one. All right, let me just lay this down. And again, take my scraper and make sure that that is pressed in. Okay, I can immediately see a problem. Can you see where it is? Yeah, right where my finger is. The scraper has left a mark in the resin, and that means that it's just not set up there. So I'm hoping that I'm going to be able to get this off. It does feel like it's set everywhere else, so maybe that is just that one corner. Just make sure I rub that down, and then I can pull the tape off. Now, is it going to pull any of the resin up? No, that looks pretty good. Yeah, it is. Okay. All right, so yes, that's pulling up the resin. I know I should have gloves on. I will wash my fingers straight away, but I just want to flatten this down. So I'm going to use a silicone tool and just push that flat. So obviously this was the problem where I used that grid and my curing machine. This corner just didn't get the heat in the same way that the rest of it did, so that didn't cure properly. Okay, I've cleaned my hands and now I am doing the whale. So again, I have made sure that this is properly rubbed onto that transfer tape. Then I can peel off the back and then I can lay that down. I'm going to have the glitter across the top again so it looks like the surface of the waves, and I'm hoping that this one is cured. It does look like it. I really don't want that to happen to another coaster. Right, just peel the tape back. That looks all right. Okay, it looks like it might have left a very, very tiny mark, but it should be okay. This is flattening out, but yeah, there's nothing I can do about that. Hopefully that will disappear with my next clear layer. All right, so now that I have all of these attached, I need to mix up some more resin. Okay, I've put 2 of my coasters onto my tray so I can help speed up some of this curing, because this is getting a little late in the day. I'm obviously going to do the same to the other 2 coasters, but I'm just going to show you these 2 and I'll do those off camera. I have mixed up 80 mils of the JDiction High Gloss, and now I'm just going to pour this on, and I don't know how this is going to work with that horrible bit that we've got there, but hopefully it will disguise it. I don't know. So just going to get that in there. Yeah, going to definitely have enough, which is great, because I do want to try and dome this up a little bit. But yeah, we're going to see how that goes. And because this is soft in places, I don't want to put a stick in there to travel around the edges and get rid of any bubbles. Now I've got the vinyl in there and I don't know how that's going to react with the heat, so I am definitely not going to pop my curing machine on straight away. I'll just give this a chance for the bubbles to degas naturally. I'll leave it for a while and then I will pop the machine on, and hopefully that way, if this is a little bit more like toffee, the chances of that vinyl lifting are pretty slim. That does not look like it is level. All right, so that looked like it was about the right amount, 80 mils. Probably got a little bit more room in this. Again, as I say, it does not look like they are completely level, but I'm just going to leave these now and let this cure. And hopefully I can rescue this one. I can't actually see the mess that happened up there, not through the resin as it stands, so I might be all right. But we will see. Just scrape this last little bit out. And then, yeah, I'm going to pop these. Just leave these alone for a little while, let them continue to degas. And then once I've given them a couple of, maybe about an hour and a half, 2 hours, I'll pop the machine on, accelerate the cure, and then I'm just going to go ahead and do the other 2 pieces afterwards. So I will be back in the morning, ready for demold. Okay, they're all done, and I am ready to demold them. So I'm just going to move those over to the side so that I can demold them one at a time, and then you'll get a better look at them. So I've got some transparency, which I'm pretty happy about. And I think that is super pretty. I love it. Even looks great on the other side, but I did make them to be this way up. So that is one. And I've got the seahorse. Now there's a little bit of a mark there. I don't know what that is. I think maybe my my mold wasn't completely straight, but it still looks all right. I'm really happy with that. And this is the only one that I have done with the lines going up and down rather than across. But loving that one. So I've got the whale. This is the Galactic whale. Again, loving that sparkle in there. Happy with that one too. There's a little bit of a mark around that edge too. So I think these moulds are not completely flat, and I don't know why, but I do have an issue with them sometimes. So now I've just got the dolphin as well. And that's it. I'm not going to do anything else to these. I could top coat these, but I'm not going to, because I think they're flat enough as it is. And I am going to be using them as coasters, which means that I need to leave these for at least 72 hours before I put any cups or anything on them. Otherwise, that's just going to mark the resin even further. So they need to cure properly. So I shall leave these for a little while. But something that is so simple, it literally is just wait for your resin to heat up, pour it in stripes, and then add a sticker. I think this is stunning. I love them. I hope that you love them. I am going to leave you with some photos at the end of this. But if you do like this, please give me a thumbs up, comment, share, subscribe to my channel if you haven't. It is free to you. It will really help me out, and you'll be able to come back and see what I'm going to make next time. Until then, thank you so much for watching. Take care. Bye-bye.